Well, welcome back to part 2. Now, I'm going to be focusing on two apps for this phone, which I use nearly all the time, called Filmic Pro and Double Take. So we'll have a look at those later. But before I do that, I just wanted to talk to you about something which I've learned, because every day is a school day here, and even doing this, I've learned that slow motion, which I don't do very much, is a right a ball ache to do on that prime camera, because you have to go into settings and you have to change frame rate, and then you have to, anyway, it's a right pain in the ass. Whereas on here, when you go into the camera mode, you just move it to slow motion, and you can just hit record. There's none of that setup and things you have to do. Also, to make life even easier, you can go into settings on this and set your camera up for 240 frames a second, 1080p, and then when you hit record, it just does it for you. So I'll show you that bit first. I've actually got some footage as well, so you can have a look, and then we'll move into the apps. So excuse the running order. So for the eagle-eyed amongst you, you'd have noticed that I've changed the intro section of Davy's slow motion hair as he does a flick. Now what I've noticed is that when I was doing that, it was really blurred, and I thought I'd even try again with him just sat in the chair. It's still blurred. This time with the iPhone in its slow motion setting, and as you can see, the results speak for themselves. And just to have a play, I put together a short 45-second film. See what you think. There is obviously a smartphone, there are apps. So we do have an app on here which will then improve Apple's quality of filming. It says, into Apple that is, they say that they can do the best they can with the lenses that we have a choice from. Filmic Pro, which is the app that I use in particular on this phone, it takes it to 2 levels higher than what Apple say that this device is capable of. Now the other app that Filmic also make is something called Double Take, because this camera has obviously got a front image camera as well as the one at the rear. So what you can do is you can position it in the middle, and I could interview you and see what you're saying on here, and also it takes another stream at the same time looking at you, so it looks better, and it can do a picture in picture and things. So if you recall, I used this app with our alternative office video. I was going to say technically unemployed, but that's not true either, is it? Because things have happened on that front. What did you used to do?
I used to work at an ice cream shop, but as everything's gone down, I now don't have a job, but luckily I'm being furloughed.
Let's see it then. So over to the iPhone and over to the app. Open the app up, and it shows you the 4 cameras that I can use on that particular phone. I choose the A, which obviously I'm on, and then I choose the other camera that I want to use. In this case, it's my selfie, and then confirm it. Hello. Once confirmed, it then shows me where they are. I'm still not recording at the stage, so I can put it wherever I happen to like. Yeah, that'll do. The next stage then is to choose how I want the 2 streams to appear. So I'm choosing a picture-in-picture mode. So I'll position it over this side this time. Then I hit record. And you can see there's a little timer going at the top, and a histogram down the bottom. And you'll see top left-hand side is where the media is stored. So what I'll do is I'll stop the recording, and then select where the media is, and that will then bring up just that one clip, and then hit play back, and away you go. So let's do that again, but this time I'll use the same 2 cameras, confirm those, and this time I'll do split screen. and then hit the record button. By the way, this only shoots in 1080p 24 frames a second, and as you can see, then it will take one stream. I'll stop the recording now, and then again go into where the media is stored. This is a separate library, by the way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change this to something different. Rather than use the same two cameras, I'm going to use the ultra wide this time. Do my confirm, and then I'm going to select discrete. So what this will do is it will take two separate streams of video for me. So I'm just going to hit the record icon here, and we'll show you do the recording, and then turn it off again, and then go into the media storage area, and you'll see at the top it shows me the two different video streams. So the one on the right first, we'll choose that top right, that is. We'll then choose that one, and that will play back the video stream that was shot on that particular lens, and then I can choose the other one, and away you go. What I'm also going to do is select all four of these, then save them to my camera roll so that I can airdrop them to my iPad for later use. I think you'll agree, pretty cool, free app. So I use Filmic Pro to do all my filming via the phone, and you'll see why. Okay, the first thing you'll notice is the soundbar going up and down on the right hand side, so it's left and right and in stereo. It's probably a bit loud because I'm talking to you via a headset which is plugged into the bottom of the phone. You also notice at the bottom there are half a dozen icons, and we'll talk about those in a second. And then obviously your image in the middle, and then these two odd things which are moving around on the screen now. So what they are is, we'll start with the one on the right. It's a square, it's got little lines on it, and it's like the focus point that you would press when you were taking normal camera footage, and you focus in and out by using the little icon on the right hand side. And then when you're happy that that's the bit you want to focus on, you press the button, and this will then lock it to that focus point. So if anything else whizzes by you or comes into the picture, they'll be blurred out and you'll still focus on that particular bit. That's fine and dandy there. So what does that other one do then? So this is your auto exposure. You can say that that's bright enough where it is now, and I will lock it in position. So any image where the sun comes in or shadows come in and darkens your stuff, it's not really going to be affected that much because you're locking the exposure. But let's say you want to make it brighter. How do you do that? So what I'm going to do is point you to the second icon on the left in the middle that looks like a wheel. So you press that button and you'll notice that two wheels appear on the screen. So if we take that one on the left hand side up a little bit and make it brighter, it's controlling my exposure, so I can pick and choose how exposed this happens to be. Or I can use the wheel on the right, and as you can see it's highlighted on the word zoom, so I'm expecting it to zoom in and out, and it does. Or I can change it to focus and focus on the particular bit that I'm looking at. So it gives me a little bit more features there. You can also see at the bottom we have our clock, and all the rest of it has disappeared. So if I'll go back into recording, I'll just hit record on this. So that's that big button on the right hand side, the big white one. I'll make it red and press that thing in the middle. So it's now, that's its normal mode. So 5-6 seconds gone by, I'm shooting in 4K and 30 frames a second. I will go into settings and show you how to change those in a second. And then the green ones, it show me what my battery is like and how much storage space I got on the phone. I can press it again and it will show me histogram. I can press it again and it will show me the colors. You know, as I move around, it will change and do things as well. So I should, and there's then back to that other view as well. I'll just stop the recording there. The play icon is the one next to it, and that'll be where I keep all my storage. Now it's not actually on my camera roll, but I can push it to that if I wish. It depends on the storage. So if you've got iCloud and things on it, you might want to keep these separate, these recordings anyway. So obviously we're still a bit exposed on there, so I'm just going to turn that down. There we go. Okay, so I'm not happy with that. Still things do need to change, but there we go. So I'll just take the exposure and the focus off. Now we'll talk about the three icons on the left hand side. In fact, there's one very right on the outside edge called temp. That tells you, if you're into LED bulbs and things, how bright something is, as is temperature. So things have a certain light temperature, and that's what that is. Now, what I can do with the colour whilst we're talking about it is change it. So I'm going to hit the colour icon on the left-hand side, and you'll see that it's got a load of temperatures already in it. So I can manually move those, and as you can see, the image in the background is changing its colour, depending on what it happens to be. Maybe I'm happy with that, I'll leave it there. Or maybe I'll choose another option. Now, I did purchase this bit to give myself a little bit more control over my pictures. Probably choose that flat one, and then see the shadow. I'll take the shadows up or down, and then I can change the highlights, as to what it is I particularly want to see. Or I can look at the colours in more detail, have a look at the saturation side of things, say, oh, I like the colour, but I want more of it. Maybe it would be brighter red. And so I can pick and choose. I've got total control now of the actual application itself. There was one other cool thing which I did like when I saw this, and it was the ability to have your watch be able to take control of the action. So what I'm doing here is I'll just show you a picture of my watch, and it's showing what I've focused in. Let's get still. I'm focusing on a minute. So if I go up, point to the sky, you can see on the watch that I can see exactly what this is seeing. So if I just move that down a little bit and out a little bit, you can see in the back. But I've got control there. I can pause. I can start the recording, stop the recording, which I have done before. So if might be in control of my primary camera, and this one's been set up, and now I can just hit record and off you go. So I do find that particular bit useful. So I'm just going to put this down on this tripod again, stop the recording, and then go into the settings. So that'll be the little cog icon. Now, there's quite a few things in here which I do really find useful as well. So first of all, the resolution. As you can see on the screen, it's showing 4K 30 frames per second. So if I go into resolution, it'll mimic that 4K. Now, I've got the set to Filmic Extreme. Do you remember I said that this is 2 above the Apple standard? So that's what they think the best is. The next one up is giving me 32 bits of information as well. And then the top one is giving me 100 bits of information when transferred to some other devices. So that's the first thing I'd spot in. Well, yeah, 2 times better than what Apple think. Brilliant. Now you can also see that we've got our screen types at the top there, so I can pick and choose what this film is for. So maybe one-to-one, like Instagram stuff. They tend to like that. I can pick and choose on there. Now I can change it from 4K obviously down to 3K, down to 2K. Can you see how much modification you have? Even Filmic Extreme on HD on the 180. Now, if you have a look at the next item, the frame rates on 1080, you get the ability to go up to 240 frames a second. And I don't know if you can see there, you've also got time-lapse abilities, so you can set this up as time-lapse. Now, I know that the iPhone has time-lapse built in as well. Now, a couple of other things. Audio, you can select what audio it's going to be using, whether it be the phone ones, front, back, bottom. And then you can also change it to Bluetooth. You can have a Bluetooth microphone if you want to use that as well. So if I was connecting to, a Rode mic or whatever, then I would set it for the bottom. Actually, maybe bottom. One of the options. Back, front, bottom. So whatever's plugged into the bottom of it. There you go. Okay. So device, and go into that. I can automatically save to the camera roll if I want to. In default, it's turned off because it keeps in its own separate library. So if you do have iCloud, which I have as well, I don't particularly want all recordings to go into my camera roll because it's just going to fill everything up. We'll have a look, edit and change things on here, and then perhaps move it off to that. Another configuration option is the hardware. I have a gimbal, and it's that second one down. I don't know how you say Zhiyun, anyway, smooth 4, so I can turn that on. So the gimbal has a little wheel on it, and that wheel can then control whatever I choose on this particular thing. It's not just those 4, by the way, the list goes on. In terms of stabilization, bottom left hand side, obviously you can turn it on and off. I don't know why you'd want to turn it off, because I'm not particularly keen on cameras shake, but you can. This has Apple products natively do not have any stabilization built into, but this has in the app. So again, you can turn that on and off. So another one is the camera option. I can go into that and I can launch double take. Now I did mention that before, from here as well. So they do interwork with each other, and I can choose which camera I'm going to be using this Filmic with anyway. Now one other thing I use when setting up in the first place is this icon on the left, third one in, with an A with a little line on it. When you press that, you'll see at the top there are 4 icons. Now I tend to use the ones on the right, which is my focus points. So these are the bits that the camera's looking at, and they're going to be in focus. Maybe I want to change something or not. And the other one I like is the zebras, which is the one on the left. So it tells me what is underexposed, what is overexposed. So overall, I think this is a really good purchase. Sub £15, I think it was, to buy the actual app. And these additional features, not that one, but the second one down, with all the different options you have in terms of how you want to save your footage, what color ranges and things you want to be able to add to it, more control basically of the phone. You can do that, but that was, I can't remember, I think that was about another tenner or something on top. But we have family sharing switched on, so that means that, once I bought it for one, up to 6 other people can also have this app and all the purchases I've made for free. It's a really good bit of kit in my view.
That's it for this week. Please subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications.